So just a really quick one here, but this might be a nice little feature to add, and it means that I can teach you how a ternary operator works and something we can do that's really quite clever in React. So this top bar here, it might be nice if we can color it kind of red if it's a pizza that's not suitable for vegetarians, as in there's meat on it, or we could color it green, so it's saying it is suitable for vegetarians. Now, there's probably better UX ways of dealing with this, and a designer might say, oh, there's lots of, there's much better ways of doing it, but this is a way for me to teach you something new. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our React app, and let's go to our app.css. So in here, it may be completely blank. You may have some stuff in there already. If you've got things in your app.css, just Command A and delete it. It's just all of the basic stuff that comes with React, but we don't need any of that because we're using Bulma and our own CSS. So inside this app.css, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make, I'm not making a class, but I'm going to say anything with a class of veggie should have the background color green, and anything with the class of meaty should have the background color of maybe a red or like a brownie color. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to say .veggie, and we'll give this a background color of green. Of course, you could use a hex code if you wanted. And then I'm going to say .meaty. This will have a background color of maroon, like a nice dark red. The only thing that I would say, actually, feel free to change this if you want, but this probably won't show up with black text on it, or this dark grey text on it. So I'm just going to make it so that this color's white as well. So I will add in here .meaty h4 should have a color of white. Again, if you've got a design that you're working from, use their colors. Don't try and invent your own styles in that respect, but we're just making this up as we go along, so we can use whatever we like. Great, so what we need to do in order to color these, depending on whether it's veggie or meaty, is first of all, let's just go and test this. So inside here, it's our card header that we want to actually make veggie or meaty. So I'm just going to add a space here and add the class name of veggie. So if I save this now, nothing's changed. Well, the reason for this is because in a previous session, we deleted where this app.css was being imported to. So what we need to do is we need to go into our app.js here, and then we need to import that CSS. I'm actually going to do that right on the top line, so that anything that we have here is sort of available elsewhere. So I'm going to say import and the string of / because it's in the same directory here, and then app.css. So you see there, it's why we can't actually rely on the autocomplete all of the time, because not everything shows up. So we'll say app.css. Make sure that your casing and everything is exactly the same as it is here. So now if we save this, fantastic, we actually get, that's a bit odd, it's the wrong color. Well, never mind, it proves that it works because we've added that veggie class to it. So it is the correct color for what we've added, even though the Hawaiian is not actually a vegetarian pizza. Well, no bother, let's just double check that meaty works. So I'm just going to highlight that class name and we will change it to meaty. Save that. Fantastic. And we've got this red here with the white text. How do we make that happen depending on this data here? Well, what we can do is we can use in here, we can use a ternary statement. So a ternary statement is just JavaScript. So we're going to need to open and close some brackets. But there's a bit of an odd way that we need to do this. So we're going to delete all of our classes here, and we're going to add some curly brackets just like this. Then what we need to do is we need to return a single string made up of all of our class names with the spacing between them. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to create a template literal using backticks. And then we will say card header dash header, because that's a class name that always needs to be in there. And then using the dollar and curly brackets, we will then put this ternary statement in. So what I'll say is, what we want to do really is say if the pizza data.isVegetarian is true, well, we want it to be green. And if it's false, we want it to be red. Or we want to add those classes. We want to add the veggie class or the meaty class. So in here, what we can say is, we can say pizza data dot is vegetarian. And then we add a question mark. Now I'm adding a space here as well, just to make it a little bit easier to read. We add that question mark, and that is what's called a ternary operator. And what this is basically, if whatever is on the left-hand side of this question mark is true, well, it's going to return to us whatever we put here. So we want it to have the class of veggie, or we want this ternary operator to return the string veggie. If it is false, we want it to return something else. So we add this colon symbol here. And if it's false, we want it to return meaty. Okay, so if we Command S that. So what are we expecting to happen here? So this is vegetarian is false. So it should say, well, it's false. So I'm going to return the second option here, meaty. And that's exactly what's happened. It is that red color because it has the class of meaty. Let's just go ahead and change this to true. Of course, I know that a Hawaiian pizza is not vegetarian, but we're just testing for the moment. And there we go, we get the green color class here. So just remember with the ternary operator is it will say whatever is on the left of it, if it is true, it will return the first option. We add a colon, the 2 dots, and if this is false, it will instead return this value. Now, please don't think that this can just replace all of your if-else statements. I know some of you thought that when I said that, when I was teaching you this. It can't replace all of your if-else statements because when it gets a bit more complicated, these ternary statements become very, very difficult to read and they can become very messy. But for really simple stuff like this, yeah, makes sense. It's a nice, neat way of doing this, I would say.